Hey everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and I'm getting ready to stitch out the November block from Wallflower's Mystery Quilt. This is the last block we're going to be stitching. Next month, it's going to be all about the quilt construction and some borders. But we're going to be doing this, and I actually just finished stitching it out. Here it is. Oh, wait, where is it? It's right here under this. And it's pretty cute. This is me using the Minki Kim fabric. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. And the technique you're using this month is going to be the technique of fringe, which means you're going to need two things that are going to be a little bit more special. You're going to need some vanish thread. This is dissolve away thread on a bobbin. That's what's going to allow you to do this little fringe technique. And I really like, when I'm pulling out the fringe, a pair of precision tip tweezers. These are made by Femore. These are beautiful because they're the Tula Pink version. They're $16.99, or you can get the regular Femore version, which is just silver, and those are $11.99. Sometimes you just got to play a little extra for it to be a little more beautiful. If you are doing the Kimberbell version, these are your fabrics. You're going to be using different color threads and different color fabrics, but these are the threads, these are the fabrics you're going to use if yours is going to look like this, okay? So why don't we just go ahead by starting off just by rehooping. So I'm going to rehoop. Let me go ahead and do this. It's a 35-minute stitch up. You know it always takes more than 35 minutes because it takes more than 35 minutes because we are going to be doing applique and things that just take time. So, and then I'm going to take this off. This up here is just an embroidery from Enchanted. I always like to leave one on. That allows you to get really close. I'm going to cut from the back side right between the two embroideries. And mittens will come off. Here we go. Let's rehoop. I'm going to put the very top on so that a little bit is peeking underneath, maybe about half an inch, quarter of an inch to half an inch. You saw I had about an inch in between, so I could really have this come down even a little bit more if I wanted. That's what allows you to save the most fabric. And because I don't want something to happen to that embroidery, I will also clip it. And we're going to clip the fabric down here on the bottom so it doesn't make a big old mess and roll around. Patrick and I are going to the Bay this weekend, so I'm like, I need to get my November block done. I know. Every weekend I've wanted to do it, and it's just been so busy. So, you know how you get things done when you have to get things done, too. One more magnet. Where are you? Here you are. I feel like something is a little loose here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take this and slide it onto the machine. I'm also going to clip this up. I like to clip it because I don't want it to fold under. Just like that. Learning. All right, this is going to go on the machine. I also, let me put this stuff to the side because we're not going to use this version. I also did my scan and cut. So with the Minki Kim version, I'm doing scan and cut. This one I'm going to mirror image. So I hope I grabbed the right fabric, but the other ones fit the other one perfectly. The one I did just now is going to be regular. This one, mirror image. Let's go ahead and load our design. So we're going to go to embroidery. The design we're going to be using is Spring 7. I have to update the sheet. Let me see if I have it here. I think I updated the spreadsheet. But we're going to be putting in this design, which is Spring 7 6x8. So I did design database transfer, which means I sent it over wirelessly, which means this is where you're going to go to pick up that design. And I think it's this one. Check your size. Even though it says 6 by 8, the design size will be 6.5 by 8.5. So I'm going to go ahead and set that. And then we're going to add. And the design we're adding is going to be this one right here. And I am going to mirror image that. Here's design database transfer. Here's my design. It's up to you if you want to mirror image both of them. Why don't we go ahead and mirror image both of them? So to mirror image, you're just going to go to edit. Whatever the box is around is what's going to mirror image. And it's that right there. And then I'm going to touch the outside of it. So I have the quilting design and I'm going to mirror image that. So they're both mirror image. Now you always have to pay attention to your special alignment, and it wants to align the embroidery file with the bottom of the quilting design. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to 200%. And what you're looking at is right down here. This red line is the bottom of the of the embroidery design. And then you have 2 orange lines. The very bottom one is the bottom of the quilting design. So I don't recommend you moving it with your finger because you might move the design underneath, or you might move this left and right and you were just bringing it straight down. Use your move arrows. So here's my move arrows, or yours might say the word move. And actually, I think my box is around the quilting design. So this is how you can select your design. There we go. Do you see now it's around the actual embroidery design? So quilting design, embroidery design. I'm going to scoot this down just using my arrows. And that looks good. I'm going to say okay. That brings your stems down all the way to the bottom. The other line is your 1/4 inch mark. So the stems are going to get sewn into your 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. Let's go back to 100% and let's say embroidery. So we're going to touch embroidery. Before I move my design here, I'm going to scoot it up and I am going to go ahead and slide my hoop on. So slide your hoop on. That way when you scoot it up, you will not go outside of your embroidery field. If you do not have the hoop on and you hit your up arrow, how do I get to my up arrows? They're in my layout, move, and now I'm going to scoot it up. It will go right outside of your embroidery field. But if your hoop is on, it'll stay there. I already selected my hoop size. Always select your hoop size. You're going to go up here to your settings button. And I've already chosen my 7 by 12. And that's how I knew how much room I had on my screen. And that was going to fit perfectly. And now we are ready to go. This button here is where you go forward and backward stitches. So let's touch this because we are going to skip some steps if you're doing it like I'm doing it. And I am doing this. I already have like I think mango smoothie in. I'm going to be doing it where I cut my batting to size already. Where's my spray tent? Oh, you know where it is? It's in the other room. This is my dime spray tent and with a piece of cardboard in it that I periodically change, and my Ganode KK100, which is my favorite spray. But if you want to tape, go ahead and tape. If you want a glue stick, go ahead and glue stick. I do not have to spray my applique pieces because they have heat and bond light. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my iron so I can use that. But I am going to spray the wrong side of my batting, which is the nubbier side. And I'm going to spray my background fabric right here. This just needs a little spritz so it stays down. And here we go. So you're going to take your batting and put it right inside the box. So I did have somebody ask me during my last sew along why I kept my batting to size, and I do it just to save time. We're also going to take the background fabric and we're going to lay that down. You want about 1.5 inches outside, so just feel around. Feels good to me, so I'm just going to lay it down. So if you cut it to size, then you don't have to do the next steps. So the next step, this step is going to be your tack down for your batting, and then you're supposed to trim. Mine's already cut to size, so I can skip that. And then this is the placement stitch for the background. We've already placed ours. That's the tack down for your background, and you do want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put in... Well, I think I can see my mango smoothie. Let's go ahead and just use the color that we have in there. Remember, this is going to be mirror imaged. So it's going the opposite direction. You're used to it going from left to right, and this is going to go right to left. It always feels strange. Good time to use your spatula. You know how much I love those. We sell these in a set of 4. They're made by Tooltron. They're $12.99. And I love them because this is what I reach in, not this. Okay, time for quilting. And we are doing our quilting stitch in, it calls for linen. I'm going to use Pearl. And it's 5 minutes of stitching. How are we doing on time? Uh-oh, I'm only 2 minutes in and I have 35 minutes of stitching. And I have to be at work. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to take this time to clean up my room. It is really messy. All right. After we do that, you've got to look at your instructions because sometimes there's special instructions, and right here there are. If doing block by block quilting, skip to machine step number 3. So we're going to skip this because this is going to be all placement if you're doing what I'm doing in the hoop that I'm using or a larger hoop. So we're going to skip those steps and we're going to go straight here. It says stitch the light leaves and stem fill. You're going to use avocado. However, if you are doing different fabric, you might doing a different color. I'm going to be using thyme. So I'm going to go ahead and put thyme in. Okay, on your screen, you're going to go skip that step 2, and that's what you're looking for. Little leaves. This is just 3 minutes of stitching. Next color you're going to use is whatever color you want for those little ball flowers. I've been doing all of mine with a navy blue, so I'm going to put this color in next. Okay, let's change out your thread. Change it out. Yesterday, I thought I was filming. thought I filmed this whole thing, or probably about 20 minutes of it. And then I looked at my phone, and my phone was completely not filming. And so it was kind of nice, though, because Sage was here. So I just turned it off. And then she and I just chatted. Here we go. Little ball flowers. Always look at your screen. Always make sure that your preview window is showing you what you think you are stitching. This is going to be 3 more minutes. Poppy, do you have mommy's shoe? Come here. Poppy loves my shoes, so she's at the door, ready to take my shoe outside with her. Since we are getting close to being done with Wallflower, I'm going to be pressing out and trimming all my blocks. Okay, my sewing room is a mess. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and press these. So let's heat up the iron. When I press these, I like to press them from the back side into a wool mat. If I'm on a cutting mat, this is my blue cutting mat, then I will double up my wool mats so that the steam doesn't go through and warp the mat underneath. So I'm just going to put this down like this. Water. And I never worry about it pucker well, as long as it's not a crazy pucker. I don't really worry about it puckering because the muslin just presses out so beautifully, and just pressing into the wool mat will take care of most of those issues. Just waiting for my trusted iron to heat up. Let's see where we're at here with the embroidery. Looks like we're almost done. Almost done with the little blue balls. Next color we're going to put in is going to be a darker green. You're going to either put in aloe. I'm going to be putting this in, which is mossy. It's like a darker, earthier green. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to put that darker green in. Looks like my iron is ready too, so we can press out all those blocks and then we'll trim them. Hopefully I can find all my blocks. It's been a year of dragging them back and forth to the store and putting them in a safe place. Okay, there we go. Let that go. We're going to go ahead and press these out. I like to go just small, up and down. Or depending on what kind of print I have, left to right. This is just polka dots. Sometimes I'll get up on my tippy toes so I can get this pressed really, really well. Press it until it's dry. This is where the most puckering is, right behind the flowers. And that looks really, really good. Let's do the next one. If you're cutting them apart, actually this one I'm not, but there's that last stitch on the bottom of the quilting design. Make sure you're cutting, no closer, like don't cut right to that line. You want to be at least 1/4 inch away, maybe 1/2 inch, in case you need that extra space. So and then tonight when I get home, okay, you do not want to distort this. This is like a little plaid. When I get home tonight, I will stitch out the Kimberbell version and film. This part is the part I really need to press up. That looks good. Let's come back over here. Next step. Looks like we're going to do our applique. Okay. So, if you want, you could just leave this color in, but it is asking for damson. And for me, I'm going to use my navy blue because that's the color I'm going to put down for my flower. So I'm putting my denim back in. I don't know if I've been using denim or rock navy. I don't know. Denim. Okay, here's my placement stitch. And guess what? I'm going to be pulling this off of my mat. I should do this and... You know what? I'm going to do this step and then I'm going to fast forward to my other applique. And that way I can put down both of my pieces and be done with the pressing. And then I can just come back. Or is that too confusing? Okay, if you are doing this the old-fashioned way, you are going to now put down your fabric and do your tack down and trim. I'm going to be doing this because I did the scan and cut, so I'm going to take this off of here. I'm going to put it over here on my wool mat. See, there's my wool mat. I'm doing this because I keep forgetting to take it off when I slip it under. I just can't be trusted. You might have to twirl this around until you find the best fit. Oh my God, did I find the best fit on the first one? I did. That's crazy. Okay. So you're going to find your best fit. My iron is heated up and ready to go. This thing gets super, super hot. You can use a regular iron if you want to. Is that the best fit? Hang on. It looks almost perfect, but maybe not. Definitely not. Definitely not. And I did mirror image. Oh, I think I had the best fit. I just couldn't believe that that would be the best fit on my first try. Was this it? Okay, I'm going to kind of do one petal at a time, making sure it fits just right. Poppy is outside barking. We took Momo. Momo had to get his Bordetella, so he's at the vet right now. Poppy is never without him. So I would do one petal at a time. There we go. That one is down. All right, and let's go ahead and put it back on the machine. Like I said, if you are doing it the regular way, you will have done the next step, which is the tack down, and you're going to do the trim. So I just did mine with the, that's my tack down, and then there's no trim. So since I don't have a trim, I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to go to the next step. Skip the tack down. Now I'm going to do that, which is going to be the gorgeous decorative stitch. 2 minutes of stitching right there. And while it's doing that, let's go ahead and press some more. Right there at the bottom on these, that's where you had the most puckering. You just want it to be nice and flat around where you're going to trim. So don't leave it like that and trim it. Always press it and then trim it. You want this thing to lay flat. And you can fluff these up once you're done. You're also going to want to trim all of those jump threads. Dry. You want it dry. You want it dry and flat. Then we're going to be doing our dreaded border strips. I know, isn't it hard? It's so bad to say that because I don't want you to dread it. I hope somewhere out there, there's somebody that loves doing the borders. These are going to be ready to trim. Okay. Oh, does that look so cute? All right, now I want some detail in the flower petals. And so you're supposed to put in your linen. And you can either do pearl or linen. I'm going to do, I'm going to just do pearl again. So pearl or linen on the inside. If you're doing the Kimberbell version, it really wants you to do the pearl. But you know, I've been loving the linen. Uh-oh, I have 17 minutes of stitching left. Okay, just keep stitching. What we're doing right now, I'm kind of going on autopilot. Right here, we're doing this step where we're doing that decorative stitching inside of the flower, step number 9. And then we're going to do the placement stitch for the bottom flowers. My bottom flowers are, they're these mustardy colors, so I'm using ginger. So I'm going to get that next. While it's doing that, we can go ahead and do our trimming over here. I'm going to use my Martelli mat. You want a rotating mat. It's going to help you get more accurate cuts, okay? And you don't have to pick up your ruler. I'm also going to use my pop rulers. I love this. This is one of the zippy bags, the Lori Holt zippy bags, and they fit perfectly in here. And I think this is my size. Yes, that is my size. So you want a rotary cutter? Let's use this. And you want to take, I know you have a side view, but you want to take your frame and you want to frame it to the outline stitch the best you can. It is never, whoops, I have my gummies on here. I need that on the other side so it doesn't move. It's never going to fit perfectly. Never cut right to those lines because it's never going to cut perfectly. Just frame it the best you can and then you're ready. You're going to put your rotary cutter in, push up. I just didn't feel like it cut right there. Hold the whole thing, rotate, do your next cut. The other thing that's really nice about this Martelli cutter is someday it's gonna, or my Martelli mat, someday it's gonna wear out and then I can just get rid of the top and get a new top. You don't have to replace the whole thing. Felt like I had something that didn't cut. And you want like a nice sharp blade. If your blade is not sharp, you might get a spot that doesn't cut. And it looks like my blade is not. Let's try a different rotary cutter. But you should get something gorgeous like that, okay? I'm gonna put in a different rotary, or use a different one. Need a new blade. All right, that one is done. I'm going to put these with my other ones that are done. There we go. Turn the whole thing. Don't let go of the ruler or the embroidered square, your quilt block. Make sure you turn your whole thing. get it? Usually it's just the corners. Am I just not getting it today? Okay, there we go. Here we go. Another gorgeous block. And that was it. All right, let's get back to our embroidery over here. Still doing that beautiful white, that cream on the inside. Okay, what's the next step? After we do this, we're going to do the placement lines. I'm going to go ahead and put in my ginger right now. We are in a time crunch. We're in a time crunch because I need to get to the store. It is a work day. Work day, but I was like, well, let me get some embroidery done before I go, which I've been doing, which is kind of nice because I'm somewhat fresh in the mornings. Okay, placement stitch. I'm doing mine in ginger. I'm going to pull this off afterwards, and we are going to press these on. If you do not have ScanNCut and your pieces are not pre-cut, after you do your placement line, you're going to put your fabric down, you're going to do your tack down, and then you're going to trim. Okay, here's my little pressing mat. These are the hoop and press mats made by Dime. And they come in every same size that you can get your hoop in. Here, we're going to put this one down. And they pretty much fit. These fit perfectly. Okay, that one's down. Where's my other one? It's pieces like this where you're like, oh, I love this scan and cut. You don't want to put it down too much because you don't want it to melt that your thread. So you can melt these like if I laid it down on there too long. Okay, those are done. So if you're doing your trim, go ahead and keep trimming. I'm going to keep going so I can get this done. And then the next thing it wants you to do is, check your fabric, make sure it doesn't fold under. Stitch the flower satin outline. I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. Poppy one's in. Let her in. All right. Oh, you know what that was? Sorry. That was the tack down. This is the satin stitch. So I didn't have to do that last stitch. It was just going around each one of these twice and then the trim. So that's okay. I was just over here trimming up some of my other blocks. So now you want the satin stitch. That's going to be 6 minutes of stitching. And then we're going to do a decorative stitch that goes on top of the satin stitch. While it's doing this, because it's 6 minutes of stitching, I'm going to go get my bag ready for work. Then you're going to do the stitching that's going to kind of run down the center of this satin stitch. I'm going to be doing it in this light pink. And then we're going to do the centers, the flower centers, and we'll be done. So you need your bobbin that has dissolve away thread in it. And I always write vanish on mine, van, so that I don't get it confused with something else, because the last thing you want to do is piece a whole quilt, throw it in the wash, and have it come apart because you are using vanish thread, dissolve away thread in your bobbin. So that would be heartbreaking. Put that much time and energy into it. Okay, this is going to go right down the center. And remember, mine is mirror imaged. If you're looking at my embroidery and going, wait, that looks different than mine, I did mirror image this one. I did the other one just regular. This one is mirror imaged. Because I'm looking at it going, wait, mine's stitched out in a different order. Yes. That's okay. What color are you going to do your center? So I did mine kind of like a peach. I don't know. I wasn't totally crazy about it. I think I'm just going to leave mine this pink. Okay, bobbin change. First has to be the dissolve away thread, because what it's going to stitch out is going to be the fringe. Second, you'll put the regular bobbin back in because it'll do the tack down for the fringe. Okay, so and I'm just going to leave the same pink in to do my centers. Okay, this is going to be the fringy part. Let me show you my other one. I can't even show you my other one because it's like connected. I was like, why can't I see it? Do I have enough bobbin thread? I think I have enough bobbin thread. I am almost out of bobbin thread. I'm going to go ahead and throw that bobbin back in. Okay, take out that other thread, the vanish thread. You got to take it out now. Sorry. Put this bobbin, your regular bobbin, back in. I hope I have, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. Let's get a different bobbin that has enough thread on it for sure. Hang on. I want that arm out of my way. Oh, battery power. Hang on. Looks like my battery's dying. There we go. And now it's going to do the last stitch out. This is the tack down for the fringe. You have to have a regular bobbin in there. So you want the dissolve away. That's going to come away for the fringy part. And this part that's going to hold down the fringe. Now you need a spray bottle, and I'm going to be using my precision tip tweezers. I think I'm missing 2 blocks. Hopefully I can find those. I need 5 minutes. We could drive separately, just in case.
Okay. Well, is that what you want to do, or do you want to drive together?
I'd rather drive together, but okay. Now what we're going to do is you're going to spritz the back right here. So grab a spray bottle. Just spray it. Okay. And then from the front side, I like to grab my tweezers and just put it under the satin stitch part and just pull forward. And just be gentle. Don't be too rough. And it'll just all come up. And that is how you do the technique of fringe. And I have a weird angle here. Do you see that? Hang on, I'm going to lay it down here and do it. I just kind of do this. This is how I do it. This is how I find it the easiest. Just put the tip of my tweezers and just kind of roll my hand back. I wonder if I can get that in. There we go. How about that? Or 2. There. You're not pulling straight up. You're just releasing it from the back side. Kind of. I'm rolling it forward like that with my hand. Can you see that? Yes. Isn't it cute? And then you can go back if there's like a stray thread. If you get one that breaks, trim it. You don't want like a long, it's like a long eyebrow. You want to get them out of there. So trim if you have one that breaks. Oh my God, is today Thursday? Where did the week go? All right. And there you go. There are your fringed centers. Are those like so fun? And that one that I will go ahead and trim away. And that is November's block. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.